It's the Super Drive Time Show with Kaycee.
Number one lifestyle station, City 1051. I've got Ycee here with me, and we are here to talk about different things, music, things surrounding music as well, as time permits. But first off, talk to us about 2021. Already, how's it been so far musically? I think you were here last year, and you're here again this year. So
I'm here again.
Talk to us.
I mean, it's been chill. It's been good. I finally was able to put out the body of work I've been teasing for a very long time.
Yeah.
And, the reception on that has been amazing. It's been humbling. It's been really, 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 mind-blowing. And I just want to also thank everyone that's been streaming on all the platforms, been supporting on social media and everything. So, yeah.
Amazing.
It's been, I mean, all in all, it's been a good year. It's been, at least it was better than last year. I can say that much. So.
Yeah. What you mean better than last year? Because, I think more people or most Nigerian artists get to say stuff like, or most artists from Nigeria, I don't like saying that Nigerian artist. Most artists from Nigeria get to say stuff like, it's been tough recording music, basically with what happened, the pandemic and everything. So was that the case for you? Was that why 2021 was a lot easier than 2020?
No, I think in terms of, the world opening up a lot more, and also with the state of the COVID vaccine emerging as well.
Okay.
So it's been, I think for me, last year I was able to, still remain as creative as I could. I don't think the pandemic in any way hindered my creativity. So there's that much. But comparing both years, at least there's no lockdown, so it's definitely in comparison, I would pick this year over last year, and 10 times over.
Agreed. I mean, even me, as a broadcaster, I would pick this year over last year because last year exposed me to so many realities, fam, and I'm
wow.
yeah, fine. Music consumption was easier because people were at home.
Yeah,
they got to have time to stream back to back, but at the same
taking
time,
the music properly.
The recording process was kind of a challenge, But it is what it is. So you have a new EP out. Talk to us about that. It's called Love Drunk.
Yes.
First off, why that name, Ycee?
I felt like Love Drunk, perfectly captured, the theme of the EP and what I was going for, because I think, long story short, I started working on this tape fresh off a breakup from a long-term relationship, so.
Oh, my days, man.
Yeah, man. It was one of them ones.
The funny thing is, I was going to ask you, is this inspired by a breakup or heartbreak or something? But, yeah, you said it, so.
100%, and, I think because of where I was at mentally, when I went into the studio recording the project, I just found from my songwriting to beat selection and the general direction I was going while I was recording was just was taking the emotional side, and sonically it started sounding like an Afrobeat and R&B tape. So I just did as much as I could, finished up the areas that I felt were lacking, and by the earlier part of this year, I think I was ready to put out the EP. So I took it to my management, and that's where the A&Rs came in, selected a couple of songs, and we were able to finally make the EP ready. And I think in a nutshell, what I was really hoping for people to take away from this EP, I just wanted people to it should inspire some sort of memory, be it good or bad, or memories from your past relationship or from your current relationship, or even give you hope for future relationships and stuff like that. And it's pretty much split into two sections. The first 3 songs are the heartbreak section, and the rest of the songs after that, they're they make up what I call the love section. So it's there's everything for anybody if you've been in love before, Love Drunk is something that's gonna sit very well with you.
Yeah, and from what you said, it's a very personal project. It's a very, very personal project, and I don't think you've done. Yeah, you've made a couple of love records, but you've not made a whole project
not
primarily about it and everything. So how different does this hit?
I mean, it hits as different as it can, because a lot of the music on there is music that I've teased over the years. I haven't really taken the time out to say, okay, I'm concentrating on this aspect of my sound, because most times when I release projects, I try to make it as balanced as possible, so the people that love rapping Ycee have something to listen to. The people that love singing Ycee have something to listen to. So I think this is more or less like the first time that I would say, okay, this is dedicated, like, just the singing Ycee.
Yeah.
I mean, feedback has been really, really good. A lot of people didn't really think that, I had that much singing in me. I think most people think of my craft or my talent, they just think, oh, this guy was a rapper that only started singing because that's what pays the bills.
Yeah, because singing is commercial.
Yeah, but I think for me, singing is something that I had to, properly learn and fall in love with. And, for me to be confident enough to put out a tape just singing, I mean, it just goes to show how well I've grown in the art form. So, yeah, there's that.
Is it safe to say that this is the most personal Ycee project ever?
So far, yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I believe I bared my heart in ways I haven't bared them before, and
somebody's listening is like, Ycee bared his heart.
Yes, I did. I actually did. I touched on a lot of issues that I feel like not a lot of men actually talk about, especially when they leave their relationships. So I use the creation period for this EP as like a little bit of therapy to just get through what I was dealing with, and it really, really worked for me. So, a lot of people have been saying, I should get my heart broken a lot more. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been through that before. Like, people see guys and they're like, nah, man, like, now we deserve the breakfast. Now we did chop on sometimes. It can happen to anything. It can happen
to anybody. Bro, men are equally as good cooks as women are. So breakfast is not gender based anymore. It's whoever gets to the kitchen first will serve breakfast.
Exactly, and you can chop it in the afternoon. Breakfast is not just morning.
No, if it's that one is brunch.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. So before we head back to the music, let's just touch on something a little bit. You mentioned stuff of as men, as youth in Nigeria, we have to go through a lot. Now, so I saw something. I think it was a tweet that was munched and put on Instagram where somebody said Nigerian men in particular have to go through a lot, but are not supposed to voice out.
Yeah.
So every type of Nigerian man, it could be artists, people in the 9 to 5, whatever it is, blue collar, white collar. Like, a lot of people are going through a lot, and they have to go do a lot to make sure that they make ends meet.
Yeah.
There's a saying that goes that men are only loved conditionally.
Yeah.
No man is ever loved unconditionally and everything.
Facts.
Yeah. Can you say that this affected you in a way putting out this this project? Because everybody feels like a guy has to be strong no matter what it is. But you can't be vulnerable. You can't talk about what you're going through. It should be a woman's thing and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I think, for me personally, because of the way I was raised, I was raised in a family around a lot of women.
Okay.
So, I've always been very in touch with my emotional side. I've always been very, very expressive of, the way I feel, especially in relationships with, the women that have been in my life. So I think it's something that over the years, at times you tend to be guarded because that's the men's way. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nobody should see you crying. Toughen up and all that stuff. But I think over the years, especially with the amount of time that a lot of people spent by themselves last year, a lot of people began to actually open up and understand that vulnerability a lot of times does not equate to weakness, and I mean it's okay to cry, it's okay to not have things figured out at a certain age, it's okay to be going through issues, so it's like I feel like there's a major turnaround now because the conversation is shifting from boys will be boys and boys shouldn't show emotion to you know what, it's okay to actually cry, it's okay to feel down, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to express your emotions the way you feel at the time you feel them. So I think for a lot of people where it tends to get tricky is you need to find the right channel to express yourself. So you wouldn't want to be pouring your heart out to somebody that's just gonna look at you and be like, man, this man is a weakling. You need to have somebody that's gonna understand where you're coming from when you're in that position where you feel vulnerable. And if you're feeling vulnerable enough to share whatever you're feeling with somebody, I think it's only right that whoever that person is, whether male or female, should understand that it actually takes a lot to actually speak up and voice out when it comes to issues that men face. Because, you know, like you said, in present day, it's really hard for people to like come out and say how they feel. And I think for me, it was easy for me because I was in a position where, you know, I had no choice but to just let it out, because I can't keep it in my chest. I didn't have the access to therapy at the time. I didn't even think about therapy at the time. So, you know, it was one of those situations where, you know, my microphone was like my therapist, you know, so anything I felt, you know, I would just let it out. Then at the end of the day, I had to now sit down and see, okay, what am I going to filter? Because at the end of the day, with the entertainment industry, you can't really put all of your business out there. So there's that. And, you know, I mean, just to touch on therapy, like for anybody out there, if you can afford it, you know, if you're in a position where, you know, you can afford therapy, I feel like you should actually go for it. And I think there are a lot of outlets right now that even, you know, provide affordable therapy for people that just want to speak. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, a high-end psychiatrist where you have to go and pay, you know, hourly just to be heard. Like, I feel like there's other platforms as well, you know, be it via social media or like helplines where you can just call in and just have a conversation, because at the end of the day, sometimes that's all it really takes.
Whoa! Okay, that was pretty deep for sure. Okay, after the commercial break, we're going to check out the first song and we're going to be playing right now.
It's the Super Drive Time Show with Kaycee.
Your number one lifestyle station, City 1051. My Wage right there by Ycee from the Love Drunk EP.
Yo.
If you haven't copped it, go cop it right now.
Yeah, also want to shout out my man D-Wo's harmony on the second verse, you know, sick.
Yeah.
He also produced Jagaban, by the way, for those that don't know. He's a rap. Will I call him a rapper? He raps once in a while. You know, he's a singer, songwriter, producer,
rapper,
content creator.
Yeah.
He a lot of things. You know,
Okay.
so big shout out to Dio, and that's my homie. That's my G.
Okay. Now, we checked out West Indies before that as well.
Yeah.
That song was, like you said before, that song was really, it sounds very personal, to be honest with you. So we've talked about the writing process of the song and, you know, where your head was at when you wrote that song. My Ways West Indies, was it around the same period, or there were some songs that, you know, you probably wrote like 2 years before? Is it that story that
I think
was just mixed up?
West Indies actually was like the last song we made on the project, because it was even the last song to actually get on the project, because we'd already like put out the pre-add and pre-save.
Yeah.
And there was one song that was supposed to be on there, but, you know, we had some issues clearing the record, so we had to, you know, add West Indies last minute. And, you know, the session, why it was so last minute was because I'd already wrapped up, you know, recording for the project. Like, you know, we're already mixing and mastering songs. And, you know, I happened to get into a session with Guilty Beats. And it's so crazy because that's the first time we ever met. That's the first session we've ever had. And that was the only song we made in that session. You know, because he was practically leaving Lagos the next day. You know, so we were able to get into the studio. You know, we made the record and I was like, okay, you know, it's a vibe. You know, I put it on my phone. I've been jamming it here and there. Yeah. So when that situation happened and, you know, we needed a song, I was like, okay, why not? Let's just, you know, put the Guilty Beat song. Yeah. And as soon as, you know, people heard the tape, a lot of people are like, yo, West Indies is my favorite song. Like, you know, so many people are hitting me up like, when's the video gonna drop? We haven't even shot the video.
I think it is my favorite song, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I mean, it just goes to show how crazy music is. Like, you know, you never know what the listeners are gonna find appealing. And this one thing I always say, like, you know, the product is never, you know, really a finished product until it gets to the hands of the consumer.
Agreed.
You know, so
agreed 100%. Okay, West Indies might be a few people's favorite song. It might be mine. It might be, if you're listening right now, it might be your favorite song. But there's a song that the song we're about to move. Like, everybody has heard the song already, but, you know, I just want to talk about Auntie Lovina for a bit. Features Pato Ranking. Yeah. I don't think this is a love song. Guys. I don't think so. Absolutely not. If you listen,
is it a love song for the people that love the clubs?
How? Let's see how. This one is.
I mean, and fun fact, the video actually drops tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, so there's that.
But the lyric video is out.
Yeah, the lyric video has been out. It's been out for a minute. Yeah, you know, and, you know, big shout out to Pato because he basically, you know, provided the direction for this song, because when I got into the session with him, I pulled up, I played like the entire tape. I wanted him to get like an idea of where I was coming from and everything. And Pato was just like, "Oh, I see. So you guys do something for the streets. You guys, And after we had the conversation, like I saw where he was coming from. He made a lot of sense. So we started working on this song, and I think at the time, it was just, the first part of the chorus that was recorded.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard it, I was like, there's no way in hell or heaven that I'm going to pass up on this song. So I immediately started working on my verse. By the time he finished, recording the full chorus, I was ready to lay my verses. And
so originally, this song wasn't supposed to make the EP?
It wasn't even supposed to be my song.
Oh, wow. It was like basically Patoraki kind of had the blueprint. And
and we just worked together on it. And by the time we were done, I was like, okay. As soon as I sent it to my manager, she was like, straight.
This is going who would hear this and say, nah, come on.
So yeah, man, big shout out to Pato, big shout out to CT. CT produced the record.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's an amazing producer. I'm really, really looking forward to working with him a lot more in the future.
Yeah.
And like I said, the video drops tomorrow. You could go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and set your reminder. So as soon as it premieres, you'll be one of the first people to watch it. Yeah.
Is that like an official time? GMT African time?
I think I have to check. It's right. Like if you go on YouTube and just type in Auntie Lovina, you should see
already,
it. Yeah, it's scheduled. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So this song, we're gonna do a vibe to it right now, and you can let us know what you think. It is a club song. Don't mind Ycee when he tells you it's a love song. It's not a love song. This song we don't agree. Absolutely not. This is, and the production, everything was just on point, fam. Like
Christ.
I just hope the video matches what we think the video is going to be like.
When you see it, you'll be the judge.
Okay.
You'll be the judge.
Let's go jam this song right now. Auntie Lovina, Ycee, and it features Pato ranking on this song. Let's go.
It's the Super Drive Time Show with Kaycee.
Bob, man, song is Bob. I want to ask a question though. What has been the song that has? I think I know, but just surprised me. Like the song that has gotten the most buzz. Is it this one? Now there's a song
Indies. It's West Indies.
I know I said don't surprise me, but for real?
Yeah, it's actually been West Indies.
Okay. Alrighty.
And I think in the next, I think in about a week or so, we'll actually see which song, because I think a lot of people are still, trying to see what song they actually really, really dig off the tape. But like, from first listen, a lot of people just go, oh, West Indies. And then by the second listen, it's like, okay, maybe, it's also intentionally as well. My Ways, Auntie Lovina, yeah, definitely. New Rhythm that's been out since like February.
Yeah.
I think because it, a lot of people now listening to it in the entirety of the body of work, a lot of people now begin to even appreciate the sound a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. We're about wrapping things up right now, but not before we play you the last song I'm going to be checking out right now on this EP. It's called Intentionally. Yeah, from the way he sang, it's a love song already. It's coming from a very personal place. So
coming from deep down, innit?
Talk to us about this song.
This is actually the very first song I recorded this year. I think we made the song in March. Yeah, I was going through a very crazy creative block. Like, it was so mad because I was not even starting to think, maybe the talent don't finish. So when
you're not joking when you said that.
Nah, I mean it was rough, because usually like when I go into the studio, no matter how bad the producer is or no matter how bad the beats I'm working with are,
you come up with something.
There's always something. No matter how crazy it sounds, no matter how dumb it sounds, there's always something. But like for like 1-2 months, it was just nothing was just sounding right. Like I was just sounding off. I didn't, I wasn't sounding like my usual self. I wasn't comfortable enough with what I was recording at the time, so I was just like, man,
was this before or after the breakup?
Nah, like long after the breakup. The breakup happened in 2019.
So 2019, okay.
Yeah, so it was like I had to just like leave it for a bit. And when I got into the session with Smiley, big shout out to Smiley, by the way, he produced like the largest number of songs on the project. Yeah. So when I got into the session with him and we came up with this song, it was actually very, very relieving. Because it was like, okay, I still got it. I still got it. So yeah, intentionally, it's just it's a tune. It's a nice song. and it just touches on the area where there's a lot of women that actually want to be loved intentionally, and it's just a wake up call to my bros out there. You got to be very intentional with your women. If not, intentional men like me are just gonna come into the picture and make it do what it do.
And she gonna serve you breakfast.
Yeah, man.
It is what it is, man.
It is.
Okay, big shout out to you, Ycee. And if you're just tuning in, you missed out a lot because Ycee didn't just talk about music. He talked about different things. Ycee talked about traffic.
I talked about life,
mental health,
different emotional
things.
Vulnerability.
Yeah,
bro. Like you guys missed. I think I'm gonna start like a YouTube something or maybe a podcast
channel.
But I'll just be talking about like real life issues and everything.
I think you should. I second that a lot. It is what it is, man. Big shout out to Ycee. And for anybody listening right now, where can they get Love Struck? Where can they stream it? Every platform.
Love Drunk.
Sorry, I said Love Love Drunk. Where can they stream it?
It's on all platforms. I think Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, Audiomack, YouTube Music,
everywhere.
Deezer, Boomplay, Bedu, Joya. Like it's on every single platform.
And please do it legally, okay?
Yes, sir.
If you're listening.
If not, I'm gonna find you, man. I have devices, and I'll pull up to your crib, seize your phone, take your laptop as well.
It is what it is. That's it. Easy to do it for free. Seize it. A big shout out to you, Ycee. We have to do this again. Probably when. How many videos are we going to see of this EP? That might be asking for too much from me, but I
feel like I have. Okay, after the Pato ranking video, I think I still have like 3 more videos in me.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, So
okay.
If there's anybody out there that's listening, your daddy got a lot of money, he ain't know what to do with, come to death row.
Come through. Big shout out to you, Ycee. I'm gonna go play this tune right now intentionally.
Yeah.
Stick around. The Super Drive Time Show.
Don't go anywhere.
It's the Super Drive Time Show with Kaycee.